Hey everybody, A4XO here. I wanted to do the unboxing of this radio that I won from Simon's live stream a couple of weeks ago. I've been kind of waiting on it. It's a couple of days here before Christmas, and just wanted to kind of show what was in the box, and then later on I'll show you on the computer how to program it and get it ready to use. The model is a GD-168 from Radioddity. It's basically a DMR and analog radio, kind of like the new one that came out with from the Anytone. It is a DMR, but it does not have a GPS in it. It does have APRS for positioning if you're using it for things like for messaging and stuff, but there's no GPS in it to make the APRS go on a track. So we'll see how that works out, but anyway, you do have, so to start with, I've kind of opened the box a little bit already, but I wanted to show, this is the radio itself. The battery is not on it when you open the package. You also have a very nice antenna as well, so pretty nice big long antenna for DMR. The Anytone 878 that I have has a little short antenna. There is two batteries. There's a 2600 amp hour, which is probably the one that I'm going to use, and then there's an 1800 amp hour. They're pretty. The 2600 is a lot thicker than the smaller battery, so this is the one I'm probably going to use. It is not easy. One thing I can tell you for sure, it is not easy to put this on, and also when you want to remove the battery, this is a slider here at the bottom. You actually have to slide this out. You can do it with your thumb, but it's a very, very harsh way to get this off. It took me 5 minutes to get this battery off, so just know that that's not an easy thing to do. So I'm going to go off screen and put the battery on. Okay, got the battery on finally. Just took a while to get that done. Of course, we have the cradle. You have to have a way to charge it, although this does use a USB-C adapter on the back, so that is awesome. And I think the radio does not have a USB-C connection for charging that I can tell. Actually, it may be in here on the side. Yeah, so there is a USB-C connection along with the mic and the there you go. You can see a little better in the light. USB-C and the microphone there. So that would be good to have if you are trying to switch over to USB-C. And you have a USB-C cable in there. There is a short antenna as well, so that's good. I would probably use this antenna because I have a hotspot at my house here, so I'll just put that on. So here's the comparison between this and the 878. The antenna is a little bit shorter than the 878. With the heavier battery, the new radio is just about as thick as the 878. So the radio itself is a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter. So we have that. Then we have a belt clip, and then charging brick, and so that's all that's in the box. Okay, so that's the new radio here, and it's probably going to be very, very similar to a 878. Obviously, these radios are very, very similar. But the next thing we're going to do is we're going to program it up in the CPS, and I'll show you that right now. Hey everybody, A4XO over here with the GD-168 Radioddity radio. I've shown you what's in the box, and now we're gonna look a little bit on how to do the CPS, at least to get maybe to get the software started. So software installed. So click on support, and then new generation of radio, and then the GD-168. It'll come up with this software package. You download the software package. It comes into your downloads as Radioddity GD-168 CPS 102.zip. You unzip it and do the install for it. And one thing I found is you can actually take, if you have another DMR radio like a 178 for example, you can export the files that are involved with all of your channels and your code plugs and stuff, and you can actually import that into the 168 software. Now there's a little bit of stuff you have to do to manipulate that, but you can actually do an export and then an import into the software. So anyway, once you have the software set up and running, you disable your firewall, and then once you start running the program, you will see this this screen here. Of course, it is, like I said, it's just almost just like the 878 or any of the other DMR radios, as we wait for that to load. And then the programming is very, very similar in a lot of ways. You would once you connect the radio, one of the things you need to do is under the set. You would set the COM port to whichever COM port it is. The other thing too that I found out, if you want the APRS information that's on the APRS, you have to go to option and you have to select APRS. Now there's not a whole lot of functionality with the APRS. It does allow you to send fixed positions, but you do have to turn that on. The other thing too that was that was a lot different from the 878 that you have to be really, really careful with is this key function in the programming. The 878 has a lot more options, because it actually has 4 buttons to deal with, but this radio only has 2. And so what I did was I reset the radio, and then I grabbed these in a screenshot so that I could keep the same settings. So in this one, the short key for PF1 is the VFO memory. Then we have the sub-channel off, which turns off the sub-channel, the second channel. The long press is hotkey. Long press 2 is off, and then long press the FP1 long press 2 key is to switch the main channel. So that goes where you go from the top to the bottom. I had messed these keys up by importing them from the 878, and I had to reset those. So that would be one of the very most cautionary things I could say about the software. But generally, other than that, the software is basically the same as, like I said, as any other. You set your channels up, so like channel 1 here is digital, so you basically can double click on it. If you're doing all this from scratch, rather than trying to use somebody else's code plug, you set it up from scratch. It's digital, high, always allow. It doesn't didn't put it into the scan report or anything. It's a DMR repeater. This is where you would assign it to the radio ID and so on and so forth. And so once you fill this out, then you would just go to the next one and the next one. I have over 200 channels in my code plug, but the way that works is once you get the channels in,
Then you go into the zones and you assign like each zone a channel. So if these are the Warner Robins analog repeaters, then all of these channels go into what they call Warner Robins analog. That's our zone. If it's the hotspots, these are all the hotspots that I have. So these are all my channels for the hotspots that I have. So all these are TAC channels. So I added these two at the end. These Marietta and POTA. Those are two that I added that were not in here that I could find. Analog simplex. These are all the analog simplex frequencies that you might want to use. 14652, 55, 14748. So those are all in their own zone. So like I said, it takes a lot to get this program, but once you get it set up, then you're finally on your way. So these are all digital simplex channels if you wanted to play on the digital part. DMR repeaters. I have a Murphy, North Carolina group for frequencies involved in North Carolina, and then there was one for Dayton also, which I probably could take that one out, but anyway. So the channels are separate from the zones. This is the channel name. This is the contact. This would be like the. This is like the contact. Well, in this case, this is a simplex, so there's no channel number or a talk group number that's associated with it. But this one would be if we were worried about the talk group, for that. Slot 2, color code, radio ID. Contact would be North America. So this is all the contact groups. So this is where you put in the contact groups. Down here is where you put in your talk group numbers. So talk group number 1, 2, 3, 4, 99. And then you have, like, I'll show you some ones. We have 311 Georgia statewide. 3113 is Georgia statewide. Then we have moving down, we have some others, and then we have the larger numbers here. 31135 is one of our Georgia state local ones. Then I have the Marietta one as well as it's in here. South Georgia 31132. 340 is North Georgia, so that's Marietta. Yeah, so those are the where that you put in the talk groups that you want. So it all goes together, kind of in the same way. So you have a channel number, you have a zone, and then you have the talk group number that is involved as well. So yeah, that's basically the CMS. I wasn't intending on showing you, a great deal in-depth dive of the CPS, but this is kind of how I have my code plug that one of our club members gave us, and I've just kind of modified it along the way. But if you're going to program the GD-168, like I said, the one thing that I would be very concerned about would be how to look at those optional settings, and then those key values. That's one of the most important things, because you can lose the functionality to your radio if you're not careful. So good luck with it, and I hope that helps a little bit. Thanks. 73s from 84XO.